Watch, there's great literary value in adding a popular slang or reference to a piece of art, to a text, especially when you want to perform it. You know I had to hit a calypso, so where's the poetry? And Look to Press, performed by Chucky and written by Marvin.
Yeah, huh, a Jiggy Calypso.
Now in the past I'd be referring to all our texts as poems, which is incorrect, don't do that, but we treating them that way to analyze them through a kind of poetic lens, because that's what I do, poetry. So, Mason's piece looks at society through a broad lens and identifies several things that the citizens should distance themselves from. Similar to Galen's Chariot, right? This piece places power in the hands of the people, which is a hallmark of Calypso. Isn't that what Calypso is supposed to do? Move the masses, eh? Now, look to press could mean a couple of things, right? In this case, it's a command to people who are underperforming in their roles or morally fragile, doing some kind of shady things, to vacate office or rock so from society. So now it's look to press. That's how we're using it here. Mason starts off with a simile, life harder than concrete nail, and then it's followed by a cliched statement, we can't tell we head from we tail, but I'll come back to that. Now, what is cliche? Cliche is just a metaphor, a simile that used so much it kind of lose some of its poetic clout and value. However, I think the cliche works well here because it's almost as if the writer is just so frustrated with everything so much that he can't even think of anything else to say but cliche. I kind of get the exasperation, which is further solidified in the system moving. So like snail, longest rope have an end. So a lot of cliches and idioms to illustrate that kind of tiredness, the language and all are tired. So by the time the chorus starts commanding people who cause this exasperation to press, we feel good listening to it. There's some sort of relief in the text itself that we listen, hey, look to press. Now there's some hyperbole in the line, every time we leave your place we need a blood pressure test. Now I know some holidays really feel that way about real life places and you're identifying some places right now. No, don't ask me to call no place. You could put the places that is leaving needing a blood pressure test in the comments. You could put anywhere except the channel. Hope all you do raise all the blood pressure here. Cannot say my channel. In the first line of the chorus, there's also some contrast. And what contrast does, it explores the differences between concepts, right? Just contrast, like contrast on your TV. It is from the family of parallelism and paradox, and I think all of those things actually happen here. So let me define them a little bit. Contrast, as I said before, is the differences in a concept or idea. Parallelism is the similarities in structure in a body of writing. Like sometimes you see the same word over and over and over again, right? That is parallelism. Paradox is like a lengthy oxymoron. It is contradictions in a statement or situation. So let me see how all of them might exist in this one little thing here. So when he says, and if the price is rising and your product quality getting less, look to press. So we have contrast in terms of what happening. We have prices rising. Wait, quality is not rising again, less. There's parallelism regarding some movement happening with the prices and product quality. So it's not an obvious parallelism. But in terms of something happening on both ends in that piece of writing, there's like parallel structures in terms of what happening with prices and what's happening with the products as well. Movement, parallelism, similar structures. And the strongest one to me, I think, is the paradox, because if prices rise, like the average person might expect that the product quality is supposed to rise too. We hope. But the opposite is actually happening here. It kind of contradictory, which makes it paradox. Remember, a lot of these literary devices and techniques, they are similar. But sometimes it's key to understand what the writer is doing, and then you can memorize the name of all them techniques after. So yeah, in other words, you say, alright, I know he was doing something with the prices and the product. So where's that, right? And you'll remember it. You'll be a great student. So in verse 2, another interesting implication is made with that line, politicians pulling stunts when them on a voting hunt. Yeah, nice little masculine rhyme there. So this line implies that politicians can see humans as animals. That could be an implication. I'm not saying he's doing that, he's saying, I just tell you that might happen. Let me tell you why. So he uses a metaphor, voting hunt, to refer to electoral campaigns, because that's when he's looking for votes. If it is indeed a hunt, what he's doing is applying a technique called zoomorphism. What is that? It is what it sounds like. It's when humans are given animal-like attributes. In this case, the citizens being hunted So we kind of get labeled as animals, and how the system could take advantage of vulnerable citizens and carrying we like lambs to the slaughter. And this is supported in verse 1 when he make that whole head from tail reference, when he using that to refer to the general citizenry. We can't tell we head from we tail. So that and all is a nice piece of continuity in the work. And continuity refers to the consistent storytelling in the text, where one can find a common thread amongst the ideas. And see how we find an animal reference in verse 2, and we could connect it back with the one in verse 1. That could show that the writing tight. Plenty of Mason's writing is directed at the government. That is a hallmark of Calypso. And although some Calypsonians seem interested in, lambasting one side when one side in office or wherever, Mason here and typically Chucky, them the really business. Them criticizing who needs to be criticized. I think that is an important part of society on the whole. So this is a solid piece of Kaiso, and I give it a 7.9 on the poetry scale. There's the poetry in Look to Press. Listen, all references we use and the lyrics to anything we use are right in the description below this video. Remember to like and subscribe if you appreciated the content, and if there's some text that you want us to analyze, just drop it in the comments below. We'll get to it and find out where's the poetry.